This morning we're hearing from Boston's mayor after President Trump threatened to pull the FIFA World Cup from Massachusetts if violence continues on the streets.
The president's comments come following a series of street takeovers. We've showed you them over the last couple of weeks. Boston and Fall River both had them. Police officers attacked, cruisers damaged. Eric Ritchie live for us this morning with the very latest.
Well, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu turned the tables on the Trump administration, saying it's the president's policies that are undermining safety, health, and life-saving research. Of course, those comments coming on the heels of the president's comments to reporters on Tuesday, where he said he would consider pulling the World Cup from Massachusetts if he feels it's unsafe. Take a listen.
If somebody is doing a bad job, and if I feel there's unsafe conditions, I would call Johnny, the head of FIFA, who's phenomenal, and I would say, let's move it to another location. And he would do that. He wouldn't love to do it, but he'd do it. Very easily he'd do it.
The president's concerned about safety in Boston because of the series of street takeovers that happened nearly 2 weeks ago, the most violent in Boston's South End, where a crowd of more than 100 individuals threw cones, poles, and fireworks at officers and ignited a police cruiser. But the aggressive attacks spilled outside of Boston that weekend to Fall River, Middleborough, and Randolph. And that's where the World Cup concerns come in, since the games are being held in Foxborough, but events, of course, happening all over the Commonwealth, some even in Rhode Island likely. On Tuesday, the president said Mayor Michelle Wu is intelligent and he appreciates that about her, but he did call her radical left and says she's hurting Boston. Here's how she responded.
We see the same play over and over again, and the move to try to throw statements out there that are beyond the bounds of logic or truth or the law is a sad, tired move to try to boost ratings for a pretty ineffective administration.
And of course, there would be a huge economic hit to New England should the World Cup games be moved outside of Gillette Stadium. We did speak with Governor Dan McKee about that because there'd be implications for Rhode Island as well. He told us he would anticipate about $300 million coming to the Metro Providence area as a result of the hospitality industry supporting the games in that way in our area. But he also said that he's confident that Boston and Massachusetts as a whole will be able to provide the adequate security to make sure that safety remains a #1 priority for an event like that. That's the latest. Reporting with the story this morning, I'm Erica Ritchie, 12 News.